Good evening and welcome back. I'm Teddy, and you are listening to Night Talk. So go ahead and grab a glass of wine and join me on this Tuesday. It is October the 28th, 2025, and it's 9:24 p.m. Shout out to the mob. All my other bears, I call the grizzlies and the honey bears. A lot is going on, but I'm staying focused, trying to stay focused. Let me tell you a little something just to start it off with. I checked the docket and there were 3 more filings today. Yes. Well, I had a short one. It was just a request to leave for, video and audio and to add, if I needed, additional pages for my filing come next Tuesday. Yeah, I think I'm going to be able to get it within the 25 pages, but I did ask for a few more. Okay. I might even get it, like somewhere between 20 and 25. I'm going to try. hmm There's just so much to respond to. There is, methodically. Yeah. And to be, you know, transparent, it took me at least a couple of days to really figure out how I would approach this one. It really did because of course, you make drafts and you start with just your preliminary. I mean, it's really, really sketchy. Yeah, you can use, Chat GPT to get an outline, to type, to start you off. But even with that, the way that I think, it takes me multiple approaches, because on this one, I'm looking at, wow, I've got to respond directly to this motion to dismiss my case. And the argument that the defendant made was three-pronged, basically. And then it expanded out from there. Yeah, it's filed. It's ECF 77. If you want to take a look at it, what she filed, and what I'm going to be responding to. Mhm. All right. I said there were 3 filings. There were 2 more. And the defendant filed, I'll call them, well, 2 motions. hmm And the first one, I'll just tell you, my own words, what it is, because I'm not looking at the filing. I'm not looking at Pacer. But recall that 2 of her 6 documents or briefs that she submitted on October the 9th, there were 4, including the first one, ECF 77, that was pulled aside for me to respond to. And then the following day, she filed 2 more lengthy exhibits. All that came in on October the 9th. Here it is. It's October 28th. So the judge on the 14th and the 15th, I'm not looking at dates. This is helping me too. On the 14th and the 15th of October, the magistrate struck, I believe it was the magistrate, judge, I'll just say the judge, struck ECF 78 and ECF 83 was struck the following day. So on the 14th and the 15th. So what she did, 15 days later, one was filed on the 24th. So this is Tuesday. It was filed, but it wasn't, like if it's uploaded electronically, it didn't hit the docket until the 27th. And then another one came in, ECF 94. So we got a 93 and a 94. Yes. So the first one, she is asking the court to basically, she's refiling something that was stricken from the record. Just bring it in 14 days later, late. And I've already responded. I responded to all of that by the 23rd of October. The objections to the magistrate's report and recommendations. This is the de novo period where the district judge will now, she has everything and she's waiting for me to file my brief for 77 response. Then the second one she filed, she is asking the judge to remove the strike, and to bring that back in. 97 pages. So she's looking at maybe 40, 150 pages. I'm just going to round it up. Something like that. So right now, I'm focused on responding to ECF 77. And then I see this. I mean, that it just feels like a filibuster. That's how it feels. Just like ignore what was the ruling. The judge struck those like they never existed. They're not up there. They were struck very, shortly after they were submitted for me to even have had a chance to review them and give a proper response. So then if those would be put back on into the record, the docket, and then I would be asked, I just can't even imagine this, to respond after 2 weeks. And I've already responded. through everything. But she wants to go backwards and bring all that back in. It's just amazing to me. It's just really amazing to me. So that was filed and now on the docket. Also, more on this protective order, more on a lot of things as we get closer to the 3rd of November. I told folks last night, I said, as we get closer, I don't know what's going to happen, but there might be something going on. I did. It's like something might jump off. I don't know. See, I don't know. And there was no response from the judge so far on any of the filings, since the last time she responded or struck. Okay. So 3 more days in this 5-day week that the court is open. Monday is the 3rd. Okay. I don't know. But again, just, putting more things into the docket, especially my focus. And for me to have to even think about the possibility of responding to something that is just gone. Whoa. I'm serious, guys. Let me get some water. Hold on for a second, okay? It'll just take a second. Let me turn up the music. So as I was saying, as the time draws near, if the judge doesn't respond and stay, then on the 3rd, That's when the defendant has been ordered to identify herself, her legal name. And then I'm working on my response for the fourth. Now, it's like if we start going backwards to like responding to, I mean, I'm already in the middle of a big response. Yeah. Because all those objections, whatever they were, now she puts them back up on the docket. She puts them back up. She puts them back up there. I haven't read through them, but I can tell it's the same thing. Maybe something was removed. I don't know, kind of like mix it up or what. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. The same pictures. Because I can remember pictures, So she's just going to, like I said, filibuster. Just boom. Like, you struck me, but I'm bringing all my stuff back. And I'm going to plea, I got to get this back in, no matter that it didn't follow the guidelines or anything. And that's for two documents, ECF 78 and ECF 83, which 83 was and is the same exact 97 of the pages that were struck from 83 are inside of 355 pages of ECF 84. And some of it is just duplicated. I'm telling you, I've seen this before. She did this before with the lawyer. I have a stack of it where she just, for example, pages 1 through 50. Then here comes pages 1 through 50 again, but they're labeled or numbered 51 through 100. It's the same thing. This is, I really think this is part of the, what is the way you do it. This anonymous and this whole, there must be like a whole guidebook on how to pull the wool over somebody's eyes or something. I don't know. How to get away with making people think that they don't see what they see. What they don't see, they don't see. I know the court's got to see this. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is an uphill battle, guys. This is a real one. This is a real one because at the very last minute, it's like throw something in to try to delay, just reset the clock, do something. Whatever she has to do to halt this. Because the train is headed for the station. And it's like, you know, pull the switch, the lever, and make the train, go this way so it doesn't get to the station. I'm t- this litigation, this process, this is absolutely. And she thinks that everything she's doing is justified. You know what? I'll just say it like this. We live in this is a democracy. We have laws. There are, you know, I have my position. She has her position. Yeah. I mean, that's the way that it is. However, to go, to really try to then come back, things can happen like that, but it's rare, and there's got to be really good reasons. Okay. It's just nothing. I have said it to everyone. Nothing surprises me. Nothing is going to surprise me unless it is so like I can't even imagine it. But right now, I'm just prepared for almost anything. Mhm. Yeah. So, like, we're focusing over here so that they can move over there. Mhm. It's like keep your eye on the bouncing ball, right? Isn't that what it is? You know, keep your eye on the bouncing ball. Maybe people that I don't know how old you have to be to remember, but it seems like it was the bouncing ball. Let me look. Uh, keep your eye on the ball. Well, I always heard it say, keep your eye on the bouncing ball. Well, yeah, there's different ways that people say it. It's an idiom. What? Of course, you have to keep your eye on the ball in business or anything. Like at all times, give your attention to what you are doing at the time. But I just wonder, you've seen a juggler, right? We all have. And we constantly, like if you've ever watched a juggler, maybe they will start off with 3 balls, maybe two, just kind of, and then before you know it, you see 3 balls, right? It's like they practice this so much that they can keep things moving, pick up another ball and put it in the sequence and just keep it going. It really takes a skill to do that. Yeah, I feel as if it was right at that moment. Even the judge makes um puts it in the docket early on. She was just about ready to rule on the default. And then here comes Jane and John right at the last minute, right at the almost like the day before, 2 days before. And then suddenly the break. And then we go through all of this up until now, all through this summer. It's almost November. Yeah, just a few more days. Saturday. And just like when Jane and John came in, it kind of feels like the last minute switch, something. Boy, I'm telling you, she's going to do everything that she can do right up to the last moment. I'm telling you. Mhm. I mean, this really throws a cog in the wheel. I mean, what if the judge would allow this? I don't know, but again, I'm not going to respond to anything right now. Um, not no, not a lengthy response because I'm responding already to something. The judge gave me an order, and it's long. So just imagine. All right, so I get everything in next Tuesday, right? I just cannot imagine getting another order to respond to something that is 2 weeks old was struck. This has been like basically 4 weeks of nonstop, because we had 2 weeks and then we had another 2 weeks to respond to each other. It's been a month of this. Time goes by quickly. It does. So, yes, it can be, it can, and rightfully so. It can be a little frustrating when you think, you know, you've respond, you're getting everything done, and then here comes another pile thrown in your tray. I'm sure we've all had that feeling at work. You know, we've all had different types of jobs before you know, we've all probably worked in an office before or something where you have an inbox and an outbox. And you look at your inbox. I mean, physically, your inbox, everything's on computer. But, you know, just when you thought you got your pile kind of managed, you don't want to get a pile of something on the weekend. You know how you were when in school and college or whatever. You didn't want your professor or your teacher to give you all this homework over the holidays to ruin your Thanksgiving or your Christmas. There's some teachers that will send you home with a bunch of stuff. Oh, and that's okay because I always love learning. But everybody needs a break. Yeah. So let me come out and look at um, some of these comments because wow, I could I could really talk tonight outside of what I'm, there's a lot. There's a lot I'm coming across. Yeah. All right. But let me see who's joining me. Let let's see if we can put up the fireplace and do something like that. You like my music? Oh, by now, years pass. I would have had all my little, bedtime stories all lined up for the Halloween movies and all that stuff that I used to put up. All right. Where is, that's what I'm looking for. No. Here we go. Cups, I see you right there in the middle. I see Vicky right next to you there. And who is Lisa? Pink. Okay. The deadline has already passed, correct? Yes, the deadline has passed for submitting our responses to the magistrate. That was the first round. And then each other. So we had 2 dates, the 9th and the 23rd. Yeah, so if something lands on the docket today, I just saw it. Yeah, that's 5 days ago. As the deadline to get something in, to respond. And we had 2 weeks, to thoroughly go through everything and put a response together. It takes time. So if 150 pages lands back that I've got to go through, I've already responded to 400. Okay. My moderators, Vicky and Baby Juju. You can support this channel by hitting the like. How many likes do we have? We have 71 watching. We should have it. I mean, come on. I mean, really, I don't ask for anything, but just hit the like button because I am giving you real information. I said that I would give my audience updates, if there were any changes. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah. I do that and then whatever else. Yeah. So yes, the is come and gone. Let me start up at the top and see what's going on. V-Love, thank you so much again for the $5 super chat. I appreciate you. So a lot of good evenings, and yes, I see you all. Let's just call out some names. Viva, Jaguar, wrong. Of course, Baby Juju, Vicky, Black, Cups, Lisa. Most of you are in the bushes. Viva. Vex, yeah, Vexations, litigant. Hmm. Hmm. Yes, the judge has made an order. Now, you say now the judge is compelling Danny to reveal her identity or their identity? Yes. I made a motion to compel the defendant to, show her identity, to identify herself. I made that motion. Yeah, I did a couple times for different things. And the judge responded and she granted my motion to compel Danny Robertson to reveal herself. That's how it happened. Yes, they're going to pull their best tricks out over the next 4 days. I'm telling you, they're getting ready to reach real deep. hmm If there's anything that they're going to try to do, they're gonna do in the next few days. If the judge doesn't respond, she's gonna, try to get a response. Something, just something to halt. Now, this is we've been stopping the train along the way since May. These stops and these starts and these stops, and just like, you know, I was barred from even responding to the court for a period while the question of service and jurisdiction, and do you know that's back on the table by the defendant filing this motion to dismiss? So all these questions that I'm responding to, a big portion of them again have to do with jurisdiction. Basically everything in my complaint and why the case shouldn't move forward. She's, jurisdiction, nope. Service, nope. Anything, all throw it out. All of it. Copyright, throw it all out. And the judge ordered me to respond to it. Here we go again. Yeah. So, yeah, she's been compelled. And unless the judge stays that, that's what it is. I'm sure. What they're asking ChatGPT, maybe putting different scenarios like, wow, yeah, what? I don't. They can't hide their identity, but they're trying to justify why they should never be able to reveal themselves, because now the whole thing is they are putting they I'm not going to sit here and make an argument for them, but they pulled out everybody in this last go round and threw everything up against the wall, and they're, saying that their safety and all of this. I am the plaintiff. This is between myself and the defendant or defendants in the Janes. But trying to drag everybody else in this. I just hope the judge just, this, I'm the plaintiff here. And she grabbed onto one word, I won't say, that the judge mentioned. And every time, I see it. But she doesn't want me to tell my story. She doesn't want me to talk about it, say anything. Yeah. So hiding behind anonymity, that's what she wants to remain. Anonymous. But that's not the real reason. I've already shared what the real reason. She told us so that she can continue her, her behavior and her misconduct. That's why. So she doesn't have to be held accountable. She said it. I mean, she boasted about it. She said, basically, I know you, but you don't know anything about me, so I can do what I want to you. That's why she wants to stay anonymous. So she can get away with doing whatever she wants to do to people. That's just a smoke screen she's throwing up at the judge. My opinion. But then I have receipts too, she told us. Yeah, this whole game trick. It is chess. She said, not checkers. Chess. So she's playing a strategy, a chess. Yeah. She's moving things around. Because she said she always wins. Now, yeah. Okay. I see a comment about someone giving advice. All right. Someone being sued but acting like a victim, they not countersuing and allowing the courts to clearly decide. She wants to be a victim, an anonymous victim. Yes. Remember all the videos where she would say, sue me, sue me. You're never going to sue me. She doesn't want to be sued. That was just all bluff. She doesn't want to be sued. She didn't want to be found out. She didn't want to be held accountable. What is this about? The court made note of them doing that the first time, correct? Mm, that might go to something else. Let me just see. I'll come across it. You would catch a headache. And that's somebody with a. Is that supposed to be uh, like the sunshine real bright? So bright it's blinding? Is that what that is? Yeah. You subbed? All right. Thank you for your subscription. And you smash the like button. Thank you. MJE. Hi, all. You're baking brownies and doing dishes. Okay. A merry-go-round. That's a good way. Yeah, it's just like, get off this merry-go-round. I mean, it's like, I want to get beyond, like this case. I wanted a case. If we get to that point, ew, then that would be something. Deflection tactics, as usual. Insane work. The judge is definitely, yeah. You know what? The judge did make a mention of, just having to go through and read all, basically. A couple of things were struck early on. John Doe, it was like a 27 or page. It was just, and it wasn't double space, so it'd have been about 50 pages that she threw out. Mm-hmm. That was an interesting one, though, because John came back and started. And, when I talked about that little Cash App, had that 800 number. Well, John came up back and said, it's his money. And, well, that all got tossed out. That he had a long explanation about a lot of things. He said that him and Danielle, that they did know one another, and that he was a man and she was a woman. Even though that's been thrown out, I remember reading that. Yeah. And now John he can sit on the sideline right now because they're, unless he wants to, raise his hand, he has to ask the judge for leave. Yeah, because if he wants to speak again, he might have to show himself, tell his identity too. So he's staying pretty quiet because, we're not really talking about John. Not really. Just a little bit. Who else? Reign of Terror. She was thinking about everybody else's safety when she was doxing everyone on YouTube. Where was their safety? And where was my safety when she put up for everyone and she zoomed in on my address on my garage? I saw that. Mm-hmm. She doesn't care about my safety. I should be the one concerned. And I am concerned. Mhm. Because you see, she knows what I look like. She knows my address. I don't know if that person or persons, I don't know who they are, where they are. So they remain anonymous. This whole dealing with ghosts, no. Yes, you can email me at unwinewithteddy@gmail.com. She said if she's ever found out that she would stop. Maybe she would stop because she wouldn't be able to get away with it. Yeah. So that it has, there's a reason. There's a reason for her to, many reasons to come on out. Mhm. From behind the shadow. Because there's a real concern here. I have a real concern. Mhm. Gia Papaya, you haven't been around. You're here and there, maybe, but you're back in the bushes, and now you're up on the stage. Voice behind truth, you're saying hi. Teddy, by now, do you have any idea of who she really is? That's a great question. She said no one knows who she is. Um, I need to state this again, just for I have never. I don't know how this is going to go out. I don't know, but I have never really talked about that bicycle lady. I haven't. Even if I say, okay, all right, yeah, King World was saying this and this one was saying that. I never really talked about the bicycle lady. Okay. There were some very interesting things. Yeah. And it might be, I don't know. I don't know. But I'm just saying, I just don't. I know what I thought. Mhm. Yeah. And that hasn't been ruled out. And that one of the things that'll rule it out, won't it? That'll rule out a lot. Yeah. Because I've also said, and I saw it again. Where did I see it? On. Oh, Magi. Magi. Okay. So I was looking at the filing that the defendant made against Magi in California over the summer for 2 weeks. Mhm. And on, I guess it's the cover page, at the bottom, it's signed by Daniel. Maybe we need to see that again. Daniel Robertson on the bottom of that form. Now, where? Let's see. On the bottom of that form, I don't know if I have it like real handy here. Anyways, at the bottom of the form, and Daniel, it's spelled out Daniel, big loop. Daniel. And on the, which other form was that? Another form, Danielle Robertson signs it with an electronic signature. The one where Daniel signs it, that doesn't look like an electronic signature. Although, you can get, I guess, electronic signatures that appear to be more natural. I don't know. But how do you explain that? Somebody walked that in to the clerk. Was it San Francisco? I don't know. It was in California. And now I want to get that form. There was something else on it. Was it 1020? Let me see. See if I can go to Pacer real quick. Let me put up a cover. Wait a minute. Yeah, I got it. Hang on, trying to get it. Here we go. Something looks. Wait a minute, I'm getting it. Copy. Okay, here we go. Fair use commentary. This is. I'll get all these pages off of here. In this case that she filed, this was the cover sheet. Okay. I want you to see this. At the bottom, that she filed this case. You see that? Daniel Robertson, right there. And something looks like it's been. Look at that. Plaintiff. And then it's comma. It looks like something was here. And then she puts county of residence first listed. And then Sheridan. So there's a question of jurisdiction and where she is, right? So this same defendant filed and put in the county of first listed plaintiff. Sheridan, is that? Let's see what else was checked. This question of diversity. Citizen of another state. Plaintiff. San Francisco, Oakland, divisional assignment. So this was supposed to be signature of attorney or pro se litigant. Robertson, Daniel. That's not Danielle. That's Daniel. The same way it was spelled when Daniel came on this platform. And then on the other form that's, attached, I could pull it up. It has Danielle Robertson. Somebody, it appears that somebody walked that in. Wonder why she filed this and then 10 days later dropped it. It was the 17th of June. Okay, I see the date here at the bottom. My thing is covering it up. Okay. There's something else too. So yeah, this person has like different, they're just all over the place. Yeah, different aliases, just different ways that they try to remain anonymous. Yeah, they're Jane Doe over here. They're Daniel Robertson over here. They're this person over there. Yeah, they've come back now. They're Jane again. Jane and Danielle. It's it's just a lot. I've just said that I've never talked about that, when I say like really talked about the bicycle lady, I haven't. Others have. And there might be something to that we just don't know yet. Right? What is this? Whether she is or she isn't, they have to come forward in this. Yes, right now they do. And we shall soon find out. Maybe. If she doesn't, run. Yeah. So I don't know. One thing I know, Cup says, is people are receiving money for services, offering to pay for Tree's lawyer. With Sweet Pea paying, is that something else? Paying content aggregators to attack games. There's so much going on in this platform. I can't even, honestly. There's just a lot of things moving that I didn't even know about. They're all linked up right now. To get court cases. Wow. A hashtag Dirty Money Gate. I don't know. That we know about the police cam footage. Yep. Mhm. Ethan says, I feel like people are ready to take credit for what Teddy has done and accomplished in this long fight. Teddy is the one that got the ball rolling on getting her unmasked in a court of law. The receipts are there. I filed for a motion to compel. That can not be denied by anyone. Uh-huh. People might say, "Oh, the judge just no." I filed for that. I did. Yeah. So on that, yeah, other things were getting going, but as far as asking for her identity, yeah, I asked a judge and I made an argument for why. And she granted it. Now, Danielle is fighting it with everything she can muster up, I think. Mhm. Nobody else can take credit for getting her. No, there's a lot of people that can take credit for a lot of things. But if her identity is revealed, if her identity is revealed, there's paperwork that that is, that's already in the file. Yeah, yeah. The judge granted, yeah, a motion to compel. That my name was on. Yeah. That's what you say, Ethan. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, that's a shaky signature for sure. Like a sloppy mail signature, you think? Looks like whiteout on the top. It like something was, yeah, I don't know. That is not a feminine woman signature unless mm, that isn't it funny how signatures like we know kind of certain things. Yeah, there's yeah. Let's see, Melissa. All right. Hello. You think I don't know. I don't somebody walked in there. Somebody who was physically in California walked that in and paid and signed. Now, there was supposed to be like a delivery. That's right. There's a receipt. There is a receipt as part of that. I'm looking at a receipt. Now, this is all in the filing. The $405 that was paid to the court on 6/17, there was a check number 3458, and I'll just won't finish reading the numbers. But it was a check, okay, that was submitted. So they paid by check. And it was a delivery service. Yep. And that delivery service came out of Walnut Creek, California. And it, from their address, it really appears like, like a business, like one of these registered agent kind of addresses with a post office box or an apartment number or something like that. Like they might deliver for a lot of people, is what I'm getting at. Now, whether or not the individual who delivered and paid for with this check, because if it was paid for by check, I don't know if you can give an electronic check. I mean, yeah, I guess you can. I don't know. But they paid for it on the same day that the document that you just saw was signed. So, I don't know. Mm, I'm looking at the receipt to see, the receipt basically, uh, it was at 1:49 p.m. So afternoon, California time, so Pacific time, almost 2 o'clock. So 5 o'clock Eastern. And yeah, that's all I see there. Um, okay, let's see. Let me see if I make a copy of this. She used the same Wyoming address that she uses now. I can just show you the signature. She says she's appearing under pseudonym for safety. Mhm. And that's an electronic signature. Because that signature is repeated and they're a perfect, like, there's no variation. So that signature looks so much different than, doesn't look anything close to Daniel, whoever walked that in. But then this is an electronic signature too. Yeah, and that's on documents. That's not. That's a registered agent. So there's something about that filing. I'll just say that. I won't tell you what I'm thinking about, really, but there's something about that filing that happened during that time, and why, perhaps. Oh yeah, they scheduled that Zoom hearing. That's why she dropped it. Yeah, that Zoom hearing was coming up in September, right? That Zoom meeting. That's right. Schedule Zoom. Let me go back to. Okay, so it was filed on the 17th, and initial case management scheduling with ADR deadlines. That's it. Okay, let me look. Guess it has some special instructions too. Yeah, so if there's supposed to be a conference, yeah, definitely a reason she would, if that's why. Where is that? I have not really read this. It's not that long. She calls herself a plaintiff as a U.S. resident, appearing under a pseudonym due to a credible due to credible threats to her safety and psychological well-being. Defendant and her subscribers have repeatedly issued threatening and harmful statements. I'm not going to go into the detail. You know, she's trying to say that here, and it's just not true. Um, oh, here is the order setting the initial case management conference. Sorry, I'm just kind of. Yeah, so there's like a 14 page, and that was filed on the 18th. Wow, so I guess they get that going right away. Oh yeah, I'm looking at it. It was set. Wonder did they have it scheduled? That's probably why. Yeah, this Judge Charles Breyer, he laid out the rules and everything. Yes, it was set. Um, so the deadline to file a certification was going to be August 29th, and to make initial disclosures, September 12th, and initial case management Zoom conference. You're right, they had a schedule. September the 19th, which is past, at 8:30. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I don't talk about any detail. No, not really. I mean, this is on the docket, so that's not a big, okay, so it was filed on the 17th, and two signatures look different, and somebody must have walked it in. Yeah. All right. Anything else? Yeah, okay. So it kind of went like this tonight. Yeah. I gotta, yeah, 11 o'clock will be my cutoff. 9 more minutes. Yeah, if you could see again, this whole thing about safety, if you could see things that she has said, yeah, she, all I just, there's a lot of receipts. That's all. She can't possibly be concerned about her safety with me. No, nah. I've never, not once, not even made an overture, but I can tell you that others have made that overture to me. Yeah. See, then again, this might seem over and over. They will not be able to pull a receipt at all where I've said anything egregious, anything that's threatening. They can't, because I know I haven't said anything like that. It's You're just not going to get it. Unless there's some type of technology where a person can take your voice and, you know, I, I know I haven't. Yeah. And yes, she needs to take accountability. If she is a she, I don't know. At this point, I really don't. Am I going to tell you everything that I know? No. But at some point, I think we're going to all know. So, yeah, we'll all know. I think there's only two ways we won't know, okay? Basically, maybe three. One, the judge stays and we hold off for however long. We just won't know. There could be a delay. One. Two, there isn't a stay. November 3rd comes and it goes. No response. We still don't know. Okay. But if she doesn't have a response and she comes on her live and she goes live on YouTube with a court order that she's supposed to respond, you don't think I wouldn't have every right to post that or talk about it? Absolutely, I would have a right. So that would be two. Three, she just runs. So, it's like, it would be like she could say, all right, I'm not going to say who I am, but I am this brazen. I'm just going to keep doing what I do. I'm just going to come live and they don't know who I am. They don't know how to contact me. So I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing. That's like three. Yeah. It would not shock me if any of those scenarios, it would not shock me at all if she didn't run and she would just be as brazen and just say, nope, I'm not. I said I'm not going. You'll never find out who I am. And I'm just going to keep doing what I do until, you know, something changes. I know that sounds like, is that possible? Yes, I think so. But that's just me thinking. I don't know. Yeah, we shall see. Yeah, right now it's basically 3 more days plus one. Don't know what happens over the weekend. And I know she's listening. You don't have anything to worry about. But she keeps talking about a protective order. You know, just like she wanted a protective order through a proxy. She's been wanting a protective order so she can get something, so she can send it to the board. Yeah, that would really be sad. It really would, because I'm not gonna say anything else. But except that would really that would just really be that would take that would take the cake. If she could convince a judge about me, whoa, I just don't know. If she said, and I'm gonna leave it at this is repeating. She said she has plenty of money. She said she's going to disappear. She said she'll never be found. And if she thought she'd be found, she was going to run. So that's it. So we'll see if she makes good on that promise if the judge doesn't stay. I don't put anything past her. No, nothing. Nothing. Let me check my email and I'm going to say goodnight. All right, it's 11 o'clock, and yeah. Really? I know she is trying to come off as, and I can see a question, I can see something in the chat. I know she's trying to come off as she has been this civil, decent person who carries the high road, and she's just talking even different. And yeah, and I'm this activist, and I'm this, and I'm the bigger person in the room, and I wouldn't hurt a flea. Mm. Thank you, all of you. Biggest bear hugs go out to the Grizzlies and the Honey Bears. Please hit the like on your way out, and keep your bear phones on. That's it. That's all. It's time to say goodnight. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Teddy. Yeah, good night.